I felt like I had to protect myself from being hurt from people that I love. But I couldn't figure out how I was gonna make it. Because the thing is, it kind of doesn't always matter where we are. We have these experiences regardless.
Right.
And so I think that humanity is what you're gonna really take. The role, she was like, treat people how you wanna be treated. And that is always how I think about it.
It looks like Alicia Keys didn't just clap back. She dropped a bomb straight out in the open. The word on the street is that Alicia allegedly accused Lala Anthony of being secretly engaged to her husband, Swizz Beatz. And this didn't go down in some quiet corner either. The way she supposedly let it out made sure everybody was talking. What used to be nothing more than a faint whisper suddenly turned into a headline-level scandal plastered all over timelines. But here's where it gets wild. When you look closer, it doesn't feel like some random outburst at all. It's starting to look like the latest move in a messy chess game that's been playing out for years. So the real tea is, was Lala really trying to live a double life? Or is someone behind the curtain stirring things up to shake Alicia's world on purpose? Because people are dragging out old photos, cryptic captions, and shady little receipts that don't quite line up. Insiders are buzzing that Alicia might not have been blindsided. She's been peeping signs for a minute, one source said. Strange texts, late-night meetups, and Instagram captions that suddenly hit different now. All those little moments we brushed off years ago are now being pulled back into the spotlight. And once the dots started connecting, the internet lit up like wildfire. Every repost, every TikTok breakdown, every screenshot added more smoke to the firestorm. Let's not forget, Alicia and Swizz have been married since 2010, while Lala has been single since her split from Carmelo Anthony in 2021. So the timing alone had people raising eyebrows. Folks online are saying this whole situation is either Alicia finally exposing the truth she's known all along, or her way of saying she's tired of playing the smiling wife, while rumors keep stacking up. And if the whispers about a secret engagement are even half true, that would mean it's been going on right under her nose for years. That's not just messy, that's a full-blown betrayal bomb waiting to explode. And the more you start connecting the dots, the uglier it gets. These so-called cover-up relationships and staged appearances are beginning to look like part of a very deliberate pattern. It's giving nothing but smoke and mirrors, and once the whispers got louder, the internet wasted no time turning it into pure chaos. Reactions flew everywhere, timelines filled with memes, sarcasm, and pure shock, like people were watching the juiciest episode of a reality show unfold live. One fan straight up wrote, "Wait, Swizz Beatz and Lala Anthony are allegedly having an affair while Alicia Keys is at home." You could almost hear the virtual side-eye dripping through the comment. And of course, people instantly dragged out Alicia's own lyrics. "What goes around comes around," reminding her she literally sang Karma. It didn't take long before the internet brought back the old narrative. How you got 'em is how you lose 'em. And that's the piece fans aren't letting slide this time. People haven't forgotten how Alicia and Swizz first got together while he was still tangled in another relationship. Now with Lala allegedly stepping into the mix so quietly, it feels like history trying to repeat itself in the most scandalous way possible. Every comment section was humming with tension. Half the crowd dragging, half the crowd defending, and everyone else just sipping the tea like it's free refills. But here's where things turned extra messy. The very first time whispers about Lala and Swizz hit the streets, he practically turned into a one-man crisis management machine. Back then, the spotlight was still on Lala's split from Carmelo Anthony, and suddenly, boom, accusations dropped that she was allegedly creeping around with Swizz. And let's be clear, this wasn't just some no-name gossip blog spinning tales. This was being dissected everywhere from fan pages to big platforms, which only made the rumors harder to kill. Radio chatter queen Ms. Jones came in hot, claiming someone from Swizz's own camp slid into her DMs, saying Lala was head over heels for him. But Swizz had already made it clear he wasn't leaving Alicia. Now, Swizz wasn't about to let that rumor sit. He jumped right into the comments like a man on a mission, firing off his now infamous clapback. "Knock it the F off ZZZ for the whole world to see." And Alicia, she seemed to buy every word of it. Because Swizz didn't just deny, he doubled down with a full-blown love fest. For her birthday, he allegedly pulled out all the stops, dropping cash on a gift so extra it took 2 months just to be delivered. A $300,000 custom Maybach.
Period, huh?
All right, so you pulling it back? Ready?
Okay, I don't know how to do this.
You just go like this and you pull this.
Yeah, pull it back. Follow easier. Sheesh.
That's crazy.
Nah, that's Sheesh.
It's crazy.
Nah, in person?
But he didn't stop there. Swizz hit the studio and remixed her tracks, teaming up with rapper Marv Milley, who dropped bars praising Alicia's artistry, her heart, her legacy, and even calling her the R&B Rosa Parks. Hold up, how did Rosa Parks get dragged into this? Either way, it was grand gestures, studio tributes, and public declarations of love rolled into one big show. But here's the catch. What looked like over-the-top romance back then now feels like something else entirely. Looking back, it reeks less of passion and more like strategic distraction. Because years later, with Alicia now putting Lala's name front and center in a secret engagement scandal, those luxury gifts and love bombs don't just feel romantic anymore. They feel like Swizz was making sure Alicia never looked too closely at what might have been happening behind the curtain. And just when everyone thought this was all about Lala, another curveball hit. Word on the curb was that Swizz might have gotten another woman pregnant. And not Alicia, not Lala, but someone completely different. And the rumor that set the internet on fire? That the alleged woman was white. Fans were shook, flooding timelines with disbelief. Wait, Swizz Beatz' side chick is pregnant, and she's a white woman? The shockwaves had people dragging Alicia back into the spotlight all over again. But in true Swizz fashion, nothing in this saga ever stays simple. The mess just keeps stacking higher and higher. Some people swear the so-called other woman wasn't random at all. They're convinced it was Lala in disguise. The whole pregnancy rumor and white woman angle? Some fans think it was nothing but a smokescreen to keep Lala's name out the headlines. And if that's true, it raises one big question. How long has Alicia been living with a slow burn scandal happening right under her nose while the rest of us just brushed it off as gossip? Every new layer of this tea feels like tossing another bag into a pot that's already boiling over. And honestly, it makes Alicia's decision to finally air out the secret engagement talk seem way more understandable. At this point, how could she ignore it? The history, the whispers, the distractions, it's all circling back and crashing down at once. And speaking of history, this isn't the first time Lala and Swizz set off alarms. Way before the engagement bomb, their vibe had already sparked plenty of side-eye. The energy between them was different. People noticed, even if nobody wanted to say it out loud. Back when Lala was still married to Carmelo Anthony, she and Swizz were often spotted in the same circles. If you were paying attention, their body language gave away way more than words. Those lingering looks, those too long smiles, those quiet conversations that didn't feel so innocent. It wasn't just friendly networking, it had that extra spark. And let's not forget that one event where Alicia and Swizz were putting on their little PDA show. Alicia rocking her no makeup moment, while Swizz stayed glued to her side. Fans who were there swore the tension in the room was thick, because Lala was nearby, and the glances flying across the space told a whole other story. People swore that just a few feet away from Alicia, Lala, and Swizz were locked in their own little bubble. Lingering looks, smiles that lasted way too long, and a vibe that definitely didn't scream, just friends. And then came the Met Gala moment. Lala working the carpet, tossing Swizz questions, hyping him up with compliments, and keeping the convo extra lively while cameras flashed all around. Swizz? He smiled, laughed, and played right into the energy. Nothing flat-out flirty, but the spark was obvious. Enough to make people watching do a double take.
Favorite looks of the night. Bro, you know, you're not doing too bad yourself. You come through and shut it down every single time. Tell me what you both are looking forward to tonight.
Just having fun and seeing a lot of people we haven't seen in a long time. You know, this is a night of art. Supporting the Met as artists and collectors ourselves, and we just want to have fun and just have that New York state of mind.
Of course, you have so many big New York records.
So when whispers about a secret engagement finally hit the surface, a lot of people weren't even shocked. For them, it felt like the natural endgame to a tension that had been simmering for years. Energy that had been building quietly, just waiting for the right moment to explode into the open. But here's the kicker. The reason so many point to Lala is because she's been playing this game in plain sight. Every single time the blogs start connecting her name to Swizz, another man suddenly pops up in her orbit. First, it was that NYC entrepreneur BIR. Before that, it was some other mystery guy we never even got a real name for. And every single time, Lala never confirms, never denies. She just lets the speculation spin while she sits back unbothered. No Instagram couple shots, no official declarations, no messy confirmations, nothing. And that, honestly, might be the most brilliant part. While the public gets distracted chasing her side quests, nobody's looking too hard at the main storyline. Her connection with Swizz. If that's the play she's been running all along, then it's not just coincidence, it's a straight-up PR masterclass. A long game of smoke and mirrors where the rumors never quite die, but never quite blow up until now. That's the genius of Lala's energy. She's controlling the narrative without ever having to say a word. But here's where it all starts to crack, because no amount of distraction can hide the fact that Alicia herself has now put Lala's name front and center. And once that happened, all the whispers, the other men rumors, the mysterious side quests, they all started looking less like accidents and more like carefully planted cover-ups for the real drama. And let's not forget, the internet hasn't erased its memory of how Alicia and Swizz even began. Back in 2010, the very same year Alicia married him, Swizz finalized his divorce from his ex-wife Mashonda, and Mashonda wasn't quiet about it. She said straight up that Swizz cheated and that Alicia knew he was still married when they started their relationship. Mashonda even revealed she was blindsided, claiming she had no idea Swizz was about to marry Alicia just months later. Since then, the trio has tried to sell the image of one big, happy, blended family, but plenty of fans never bought that fairy tale. One commenter nailed the sentiment perfectly. Swizz didn't build a blended family. He broke a woman's heart and tried to normalize the damage with smiling photos. That quote has been circling again, and it's hitting harder now than ever. So when people look at the current Lala situation, it feels like deja vu. The over-the-top gifts, the private whispers, the endless distractions. It's not just a random scandal anymore. To many, it looks like Alicia is facing the same old pattern playing out again, only this time she's not pretending to smile through it. And here's the real kicker. Alicia isn't just calling out Lala for some alleged secret engagement. She's drawing a line in the sand, saying history is not going to repeat itself without consequences. And according to whispers behind the scenes, Alicia is getting ready to make her boldest move yet. Sources say she's preparing to file for divorce. So guess what the breaking reason behind all this divorce talk is? Swizz allegedly fathered a child outside the marriage. And the internet wasted no time reacting. One fan went in saying, Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz been headed for divorce, child. How you get them is how you lose them. Whew! The shade was loud and the comment section was on fire. But here's where it gets even crazier. Alicia didn't just hear whispers in the street. Allegedly, she found out through an official court order and a paternity test. Yes, you heard that right. Not gossip, not blog rumors. Legal paperwork spelling out that her husband had been living a whole other life. A tale as old as time in Hollywood, but when the receipts come stamped from the court, that's a whole different level of betrayal. And the timing? Absolutely brutal. This wasn't random news dropped on a slow day. Word is, it came right after Alicia and Swizz went all out celebrating their 15 years of magic anniversary on Instagram. The matching posts, the glowing photos, the declarations of love. But behind the scenes, if the timeline checks out, Alicia may have already been holding those paternity results in her hand while smiling for the cameras. Now that is diabolical. And also next level PR control most of us could never pull off. But this isn't your average he cheated scandal. If Swizz really does have a new child, that's a permanent mark, proof of a whole other life outside the marriage. And now the question shifts to Lala, because if the secret engagement rumors still hold weight, where exactly does she fit into this tangled mess? Is she just the distraction or part of the main storyline? If Alicia really is ending the marriage because of this baby, could that be the exact moment Lala slides from the alleged side piece into the public role of fiancé? I mean, could Swizz really be messy enough to pull the same play again? At first, it feels unthinkable, but the timing lines up almost too perfectly. When you stack everything together, Alicia's history with Swizz, the way their relationship started, Mashonda's accusations back in the day, the carefully staged blended family photo ops, It's hard not to see this as karma finally circling back around. The very same kind of scandal Alicia was once accused of benefiting from now seems to be creeping into her own marriage. What goes around really does come back around, and now it's landing right in her lap. And if Lala is truly the one waiting in the wings, that changes the whole picture. Suddenly, this doesn't look like a random cheating scandal. It looks like a full-circle replay of 2010, only this time with Alicia standing on the other side of the heartbreak. That twist makes the whole saga feel less like coincidence and more like history rewriting itself in real time. So now we're left staring at one final messy question. Was this all part of a carefully played long game, or just a string of brutal bad timing? Did Lala really move in silence for years, waiting for the moment to step up? Or did everything just explode by accident right on Alicia and Swizz's anniversary? I need to know what you think. Was this planned from the start or pure coincidence? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget, like this video, share it with your friends, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the bell so you don't miss what's coming next, because this fire isn't burning out anytime soon. See you on the next one.